Welcome to our video on how to spend 3 awesome days in Malaysia. We're going to give you a breakdown of all our costs, what we spent on what, and take you day by day to the places that we visited so you can get the best of your 3 days when visiting Malaysia. As well as being informative and hopefully not too boring, we're just normal people like you. We're not robotic AI voices or people trying to sell you something every 5 minutes. So thank you for coming along on this journey with us as we go through Kuala Lumpur Airport and make our way to our hotel. And for those who don't know me, my name is Phil and this lady is Fang. And together we are Phil and Fang around the world. And if you think that's a bit cheesy, stick around and wait and see what else we've got coming up. You've got options when it comes to travelling from the airport to the city. We chose the KLIA Ekspres train, which we're on now, and this was by far the quickest and most convenient, we thought. It took around 30 minutes to get to the main station, Sentral, and a single trip will cost you 50 ringgit, which converts to about 9 Great British pounds. Our first impressions of Malaysia was that it looked like a very clean country, and the transport and everything seemed very well organised and efficient. We're walking through Central Shopping Mall now, up to the Monorail system, and this is a very hot country, so make sure you bring your sunscreen, especially if you've got skin like me. Everything was well signposted, both in English as well as Malaysian. We're getting our tickets for the Monorail system now to go to our hotel, and you can purchase a single ticket or return ticket, and you'll get a token like this one. Without being too patronising, I'll show you how to use a token now if you've never used it before. You just tap it on the entrance barrier where it says and the barrier will open. But don't worry if you have any issues, because there's normally a guard at each station who'll help you out if you get stuck. And on the way out, you just put the token in the machine and it'll let you out. We stayed at this hotel, which is the Holiday Inn Ekspres, and it cost 250 ringgit a night, which converts to around 45 Great British pounds. And as we walk in, it's got everything you'd expect from a hotel of this standard. It's got a safe, pretty nice TV, you got a couple of free bottles of water. The water pressure in the shower was really good at this hotel as well, and the views of the city weren't too bad either. As you'll see throughout this video, the itinerary is pretty full, so it was only good that we stuck to the plan. And that gave us time to drop our bags off and head out for a bite to eat at this place, which came highly recommended. So this is Old Town White Coffee, which is famous in Malaysia for its buttered toast. Fang got the barbecue chicken and fried wonton with a nice coffee. I got soft boiled eggs with toast and a hot coffee, and we shared the famous kaya and butter toast, which did live up to its expectation. It just melted in your mouth. And that came to 61 ringgit, which works out at around 11 Great British pounds. As I'm all about giving you value on this channel, what I'll do is I'll provide you with a list of our itinerary of what we did over the 3 days and the places that we visited. And this was the first port of call on the first day, which is the KLCC Aquaria, as it's known. Everywhere we went, we heard KLCC being mentioned, and it stands for Kuala Lumpur City Centre. This is open from 10 in the morning until 7 at night, and the last admission is at 6 o'clock at night. I've actually done a full video about the Aquaria KLCC if you want to check that out, so I'm not going to go too in depth in this video about it. However, I will give you a little bit of information. I'm always wondering what things cost when I'm watching videos, so I'm going to include that in this one. The ticket price through the week worked out at 63 ringgit, which converts to around £11.50, and at a weekend it cost 68 ringgit, which works out at around £12.50. That was it from the aquarium, and we're going to head upstairs now and cool off a little bit by getting one of these lovely ice drinks. These certainly weren't the cheapest in Malaysia, but the quality was good and they tasted absolutely lovely. Cheers. These cost 10 ringgit each, which works out at around £1.85. And now we're going to head over to our next port of call, which is the Petronas Twin Towers, and we're going to get there through this lovely shopping mall. It took us around 15 minutes to get from the aquarium to the Petronas Twin Towers, although it would have taken us a lot longer if we'd have stopped and looked at all these pretty pictures along the way. As well as me rambling on a bit sometimes, it is our aim from doing these videos to try to show you our experience of visiting not only Malaysia, but if you have a look on our channel, all the many different places that we go, so it may help you in some way if you're planning on coming to Malaysia. Hopefully we can provide you with a kind of blueprint of what we did, so it might make it easier for you. As we head out of Surya Shopping Mall now, we get to see our first glimpse of this iconic view of the Petronas Twin Towers. For all you Instagrammers or people that love a photo, you can get some spectacular pictures with the towers behind you. And although we didn't plan on going up the towers, upon getting here we thought we might go and have a look out of interest, but unfortunately the towers were closed for the day. So I guess if you are wanting to come up the towers, it'd be worth ordering your tickets before you come, or getting here early to avoid disappointment. Ticket price is a 98 ringgit, which converts to £18. As we walk out of the back of the Surya Shopping Mall, you can see there's some really nice views of the back of the towers, as well as the lakes with the waterfalls, water features. And in this video, I want to spend 3 days in Malaysia, specifically Kuala Lumpur. We were very impressed with the amount of green space that there was in this capital city. And as we look back at this iconic landmark of Malaysia, the Petronas Towers, the temperature was around 31 degrees at this point, and we decided that it was a good time to go and cool off a little bit, as well as check out some of the many awesome shopping malls that there is in the city. So we walk back towards our hotel and come to this shopping mall, which is called the Pavilion, which is a good place to make some comparisons on the prices of goods compared to my home country, which is England, which is what I did here by comparing these trainers. They worked out 709 ringgit, which was about £130, and these ones worked out at 609 ringgit, which was about £112. In comparison, that was about the same as what you'd pay in England, so there was no real difference in terms of the pricing for those goods anyway. If you do know what things are cheaper in Malaysia than maybe other countries, please let us know in the comments. Retail therapy over with, it was time to make our way to Jalan Alor street food. It's a good idea to use the Grab taxis in Malaysia, which is Asian equivalent of Uber. There's no hidden fees or people trying to scam you, and it's a really good way of getting around, as is Google Maps, which is what me and Fang normally use when we travel. This is Jalan Alor street food, and it's one of Kuala Lumpur's top culinary destinations. The sidewalks are lined with tables and chairs for places to eat at the many different style of shops covering every foodie's favourite dishes and drinks, including one of my personal favourites, which is the good old mango smoothie. This cost me 10 ringgit, which converts to around £1.85. And as the day draws to a close, we head to a nearby 7-Eleven, which is one of my favourite shops in Asia, because you can get just about every variety of anything that you can think of. And we're just going to grab a few treats as we look at the breakdown of our costs for our first day in Malaysia. And I'll convert it into British pounds as well. This is mainly for my mum and dad watching back in England, because I've not been to Malaysia and I know they're interested, as maybe you are, about how much things cost. And as well as giving you a breakdown of the total costs, I'd like to thank all our now 163 subscribers we have at the time of making this video. I never thought we'd get to 100, to be honest. Thank you all very much as we now head into day 2. The first stop of the day is Batu Caves. This is a free attraction and one of the country's most popular tourist spots. It's recommended best to visit early morning before 10 o'clock, which is when most of the tour buses start arriving. All around the city you'll see the usual tours that run into the caves, and they are way overpriced, so I'd recommend that you did what we did and get a taxi using the Grab app. This taxi from our hotel took around 30 minutes to get here and cost us 20 ringgit, which converts to about £4. We thought that was great value, as a taxi in London, for example, would cost you at least 10 times that price. The caves are open from 6 in the morning until 9 at night and are open 7 days a week. We allowed around 2 hours to visit the caves and we thought that was enough for us. However, if you do have any health concerns or aren't that mobile, it's worth allowing yourself more time, again depending on your fitness, etc. Because, as you can see, there's a lot of steps. 272 steps in total to climb. You can buy bottles of water, soft drinks, snacks from any of the shops dotted around the area. There's shops at the bottom of the steps and then at the top of the steps as well, with little souvenir shops also, which you can buy your little trinkets and whatnot. As you probably expect from me, I've done a more in-depth video about the Batu Caves, therefore I won't dive in too far about the historic and factual side of the caves. We'll leave the Batu Caves there, and when we were waiting for a taxi outside, we met a nice Polish couple and shared a taxi with them to our next destination, which is a Chinese temple called Thean Hou Temple. And just before going into the temple, we're going to stop for a little bite to eat. I grabbed some mango and sticky rice, which cost 10 ringgit. That converts to around £1.84. And Fang got some lovely spicy chicken feet, and that was also 10 ringgit, which converts to about £1.84. After our snacks, we headed into Thean Hou Temple. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not. It is a free place to visit and one of the largest temples in Kuala Lumpur. It's also a hotspot for your eye-catching Instagram photos, so make sure you bring your camera. And it's open from 8 in the morning until 10 at night, and it's free to visit. This is Fang using the fortune sticks, and the way in which these things work, or my understanding of it, is that you pick them all up and then bang them down. Then you choose a stick which is protruding above the other sticks. That'll have a number on it, and whatever number that is corresponds to a drawer which has a piece of paper in it. And on that paper it'll give you some information about your future, depending on what number was on the stick. It's kind of a lottery if you ask me. Normally if it's good I think it's great, if it's bad I don't believe it. But let us know what you think, whether you believe it or not. That's pretty much it now from the temple, although I'll leave you with a couple more facts. The temple was built by the Hainanese people living in Malaysia and officially opened to the public in 1989 at a cost of 7 million ringgit, which converts to around £1.3 million. From the temple we headed to this area called Merdeka Square. Here you'll find the 311 foot or 95 metre flagpole displaying the Malaysian flag. It's at the southern end of Merdeka Square, opposite the art gallery. And from our experience in Malaysia, I've got to say that this is one of the safest places that we've been to. The people seemed really friendly, kind of kept themselves to themselves. They didn't intrude or encroach upon you. Not sure if encroaching is a word or not. Listed among the 10 best waterfronts in the world, the River of Life is located near the art market in Chow Kit. It offers spectacular views and is the convergence point of two rivers, the Klang River and the Kombak River. As you can see, our itinerary is fairly rammed. If you do have time, it's recommended to come here after 8 o'clock at night, where they have a dancing symphony fountain, backed by different pieces of music. Lively and colourful, this is Chinatown and is a vibrant district in Kuala Lumpur. It's centred on Petaling Street, known for its fashion shops and large covered market, which we're walking through now. We spent about half an hour walking through the market and the streets, looking at all the colourful shops, selling your usual knocked off gear, like your Adi Hash and your Glay Clanes. No visit to Chinatown is complete without tasting some Chinese noodles, and we found a shop to do just that. This meal came to 43.5 ringgit, which works out at around £8, which for two people we thought was really good value for money. You don't have to wait long for a taxi in Malaysia. No sooner had we ordered one, it arrived, and then we were on our way to our next stop, which is the KL Towers, also known as Menara. I'll give you an overview of the towers and the prices and everything like that. I won't go too in depth. Once again, I've done another video on this. If you want to have a look and get a more in-depth view of the KL Towers, then you can do that. But for this video, I'll just start by saying that this is currently the 7th tallest tower in the world, and it stands at 421 metres tall. This is the observation deck in the tower, where you can get 360-degree views of the city. You'll be standing at a height of 276 metres at this point, and as we head up to the sky deck, you'll climb another 24 metres and be at a height of 300 metres. When you get here, you'll walk out into the open air, and depending on the weather for that day, you'll either get awesome blue sky, clear views of the city, or not, as it was in our case. I'll just quickly mention the ticket prices if you want to do everything like the observation deck, the sky decks, and the sky boxes. And that's what this is now, the sky box. There's 2 sky boxes. You can go in and you get a minute in each one to take your pictures and videos for your socials. So if you want to get the same ticket that we got, it's called the combi ticket, and it costs 98 ringgit, which converts to 18 Great British pounds. As we come down the tower now, day 2 is starting to come to an end, and we're just going to head over to a nearby Indian restaurant for a bite to eat, and I'll give you the breakdown of the costs for the day in both Malaysian and English. As the morning breaks, we go for breakfast, which has a good selection of fruits, bread, cereals, coffee and juices that I enjoy, and also Asian style food like your nasi lemaks and your dim sums, which Fang enjoys. For day 3, we didn't really have anything planned. We just wanted to chill out a little bit and have a look around the shopping malls. However, we did find a place called the Museum of Illusions, which we thought would be a good place to go and have a look. It did turn out to be a very good place to visit, better than I expected. The ticket prices cost 50 ringgit. That works out at around £9. There's lots of different exhibitions, as you can see. I could talk through each of them and describe the meaning of what you're supposed to do and how you need to position yourself to take your photos. But I think it'll be a lot easier just to show you from some of our photos. So there you are. And this is Fang now walking through what they describe as a vortex tunnel. We hope this has given you a little bit more of an insight about the Museum of Illusion. We have a little bit of time left to look around the shopping malls before we head off to catch our flight to Singapore. If you want to continue your journey with us to another Asian country, which had one of the best airports and shopping malls in the world, I've now uploaded that to YouTube so you can get to see another truly amazing city in Southeast Asia. We've just picked our bags up now from the hotel, and I'll walk you from our hotel to the airport now via the monorail from Ratchachulan station to Sentral station, where we'll get the KLIA Ekspres to the airport. I'm going to include travelling to the airport in this video because if I was watching it, I'd like to not only know what the person did for the 3 days and where they visited, but also how easy it was or not to get around. So I'll walk you through this journey and reflect a little bit on our time in Malaysia, what we thought was good, what we would have done differently, which, if I'm honest, I don't think I would have changed anything. I didn't know what to expect, and you're seeing this for the first time like I am, and when I'm recording these videos, nothing's planned or rehearsed. I've never been here before, so it's good that we can travel together, and maybe you can learn from our mistakes and gain some knowledge or experience of what to expect if you're planning on visiting here. Although travelling can be stressful at times, travelling is meant to be fun, and it's our hope to try and inspire you to get out there and do some travelling of your own. It's really not as difficult as you think, believe me. If I can do it, anybody can do it. We hope that way can show you and provide you with different perspectives, or maybe drop a nugget of information, a little pearl of wisdom that might help be able to give you some information that you've never thought of before. as we wait to get the monorail to Sentral station. We'll have a look now at the cost of day 3 in Malaysia, and again I'll convert this from Malaysian into English. I've been talking through this video now for about 20 minutes and I'm getting sick of the sound of my own voice, if I'm being honest. So what I'll do is I'll play a little bit of background music and take you through our journey to the airport. So sit back, relax and enjoy the ride. Now coming to the end of the video, which is the part where we will show you the total costs for our 3 days in Malaysia. You can see on the screen now what the breakdown of all our costs were, and we've categorised them so you can understand them a little bit better. The total cost for this trip worked out at 3,284 ringgit, which converts to 606 Great British pounds. I guess all that's left is for me to say the usual YouTube thing. If you could give us a subscribe, give that bell a ding, give us a like and a comment, all that usual sort of stuff, that would be much appreciated. And if you've not seen it already and want to carry on the journey with us to Singapore, you can click on the right hand video or the left hand video for our latest video release. Thank you very much for watching.